Wife Material Podcast. If he cheats on you, it's your fault. And the thing is that most females don't realize that they are not good enough. They like to think they're good enough. They like to think they're better than good enough. They like to think they're the best. They like to think that if they get a guy, it's because she's high quality. She's the best in the world. She's the best compared to every other female. That's why she was picked and not some other chick, right? But in reality, there's a high probability that you're just another chick, right? You're just another one on his to-do list, right? You're just another female on his to-do list. You're just in his roster. All right. And most females tend to pick fuckboys, so that's not surprising that is the case. But on average, that's the thing. If you get with a fuckboy, there's a high probability he's gonna fuck around. But how can you prevent a fuckboy from fucking around, right? Or not necessarily prevent per se, but how can you make it where he doesn't want to do what he would normally want to do? And with that is, you need to be better than what he could get. He's going to have a whole bunch of options. He's going to have a whole bunch of chicks throwing themselves at him. But you got to make sure that you are in his mind. That's the important part. What he thinks, not what you think, what he thinks. Is like, I don't know, what I got at home is a 5-star meal. Y'all chicks out here are just snacks. Y'all cupcakes out here. Y'all not on my girl's level. When it comes to sexuality, skills in the bedroom, right? Personality, fitness, looks, right? That kind of stuff. Value, because that's the thing. Your value is not determined by you. Your value is determined by him. And the more valuable you are to him, the less valuable any random chick that comes his way would be. Even if, on average, most of these guys, when they exercise their options or cheat or whatever you want to call it, usually is because they see that, like, okay, this chick here could probably do some stuff for me that I can't get at home, right? I can't get from my main chick. So I want to try something different. I want to do something different. All right? And a lot of times they take advantage of these options. You got to remember, guys are not out here hunting females like that. As in, guys are not out here, slinging dick. Guys are accepting offers. Females are the ones slinging. They're the ones out here opening their legs to every guy that they want. Not just every guy, but every guy they want. And if they want your man, they're going to open their legs to him. Right? You can't blame them for, being interested in what's being offered. The thing is, you got to make sure that what's being offered is not as valuable. It's, that it's a useless offer compared to what he has at home, right? It's like a way of saying it, like he goes to somebody else's house and they offer him something to drink and he turns it down. It's like, no, I'm good. And the reason why is because what he has at home is better. He has better things to drink at home. He doesn't need to drink anything outside, or he'd rather wait until he gets home to use his toilet. Think about that. Like, there's people that won't use public toilets, right? Or use somebody else's toilet in their house. They'd rather wait until they get home and use their own toilet, their own house, right? Take a shower in their own house. So you have to have that same type of mentality. It's like, you want to make sure that whatever guy you're with, that's the mentality he has. That what he already has is way better than what is out there. Way better than he could get. but it has to actually be better. And there's many ways that could be better. One, having less sexual experience. Interesting enough, even though I was talking about skills and skills in the bedroom, having less experience, not necessarily less skill, but less experience. As in, there's certain things you haven't yet tried. That is beneficial. And of course, you gotta have the willingness to try. Because, you probably heard this many of times. If you won't do it, some other chick will. So the idea is you gotta make sure that he knows that whatever he wants to do, you can do. Or you'll at least be willing to do. Right? Remember, he's supposed to be your man, right? You have to have that mentality that it's like, he's your man. You need to make sure that he knows that. That's what he thinks on a daily basis, that he's your man. That if he wants, somebody to throw it back for him, you're the one that's fully capable of doing it and willing to. So, it's just like how females want a guy who can, who's ambitious, who can show that he can, conquer the world, as they say, right? He can make more money. He has no limits. Basically, Superman, show you his full strength, his full potential as Superman, right? That's what females want to see from a guy. A guy wants the same thing from a female, full potential. Something I always keep thinking about is like, guys want. You gotta. Sorry, I lost track of thought. You gotta make sure that. Oh yeah, the idea of if he wants different stuff, right? Different females. Role playing is a thing, right? Cosplaying is a thing. Wigs exist. Outfits, right, exist. Virtual reality. I mean, that's for a future topic, right? I guess I'll make a sex toy or sex podcast episode. Anyway, the thing is that like I said, even stuff like that, incorporating sex toys into your relationship. And it's important. Remember, we're talking about cheating, so that's why I'm talking about sex. There are other things that that's important. You showing him affection and care, and showing him that that he matters, that he's important. Just as much as you want to feel special, he wants to feel special too. Especially in a world where everybody, is shitting on him because everybody's trying to outperform him, they're trying to outshine him and stuff like that. Having you there as his cheerleader, basically, there to root him on, to support him, or if you want to look at it as your emotional support, spiritual support, all that stuff, like you gotta be his everything, right? If you're not his everything, then you're nothing. I mean, it's just common sense. If you're not his everything, you're nothing. And most females don't bring a lot to the table. Even when you ask them the question about what they bring to the table, they get offended just by being asked. It's like, how dare you ask me about anything that I'm capable of doing? Like, what? It's like going to a job interview for a really awesome job where, let's say, you're getting paid $1 million an hour or something, right? That sounds amazing. But then you have the audacity that as soon as they ask you for your resume or ask you for, any type of work experience, you immediately want to get offended. That's essentially what the question, what do you bring to the table, means, is what are your qualifications? What makes you worthy? I guess that's probably why most people don't like the term, the expression, what you bring to the table. It's like, what makes you worthy of me? What makes you worthy of you and me making a relationship, being a couple? Because clearly I have options. I could be in a relationship with any female that I want, or any female in general. I could just be in a relationship with a homeless woman. Like, oh, you're homeless. You know what? I'll be your boyfriend. Now you can stay with me. Now you're not homeless no more, and give you a better life than you already had. I could do that. All right. So the thing is that if I'm choosing you over a homeless chick, right? It has to be because you have a lot to offer compared to the homeless chick, right? As an example. And not just that, even compared to a chick that's above you, a chick that you look up to. I'll use Beyonce as an example. So let's say I have the ability to get with Beyonce. So I have Beyonce, you, and some homeless chick. What is special about you that will make me choose you over the homeless chick or Beyonce? That's the thing. You're competing with those two types of chicks. Got distracted again. So, yeah, you want to be able to make sure that busy. I was talking about, try different outfits, be the best, be his everything. Because you definitely don't want there to be a lack of communication, a lack of intimacy, a lack of respect, a lack of love, right? Because sometimes, here's the thing, a lot of people, they treat relationships like it's different than friendship, and it's different than like a family relationship, right? If you get along with your family, if you get along with your friends, it shouldn't be that hard to get along with a significant other, especially considering the fact that you choose the significant other, right? You choose the man you're with, right? The man chooses the woman he's going to be with. So since y'all choosing, that means y'all see a lot of value. So, what was I talking about? You want to reduce any possibility that that's what I was talking about. People act like relationships are different than friendships. They act like, being a boyfriend girlfriend is way different than just being friends. And it's like, no, it's the same thing. The only difference is sex is a factor, right? So, or intimacy, however way you want to call it. But it's like that's the only difference, Spending time together, making plans, communicating, that's the most important thing. Think about it. Just the thing is think of friendship. Think of how you are with friends. Right? The things, sometimes, friends, we tolerate things, right? Sometimes we allow certain things to, we don't make a big deal about certain things because we value the friendship, right? Because we always think about the good times, so we ignore a lot of the bad times, right? Because bad times are going to happen, right? Somebody's going to have a shitty day. Some of my friends, they've had some pretty bad days, and they didn't treat me that well, right? But I'm not going to end the friendship over a bad day. The thing is, when it comes to the male, people in relationships, boyfriend, girlfriends, they tend to treat their relationships like it's something else, and they tend to tiptoe and walk on eggshells. They're always trying to impress one another or trying to one-up each other. Competition, especially most modern females tend to try to compete with their significant others, but it's not a competition. Y'all supposed to be teammates. As much as females love to use the term partner nowadays, like, oh, we're partners. You don't act like a partner. A partner is supposed to mean you're a member of the team, a teammate. But even in a team, there's a leader, right? There's a team leader. So the thing is, when you get in a relationship, who's the team leader? Logically, it should be the and this is, I always believe this, that it needs to be the person who's most qualified, not just, oh, he's a man so he has to lead. No, a woman can lead, can listen to what I'm saying, can lead, but on average guys tend to be better at that. But a female can lead if she's best qualified, because there'll be things that, females are better at that I said it wrong. I meant to say there's things that the females I deal with, they're better at, and I'd let them do that, right? It's like, okay, you're better at, let's say, doing taxes, so I'll let her do the taxes because she's better at it. So whoever is, because I look at it as like, a team thing. Whoever is best at doing something should be the one to do that something. So if I'm better at lifting heavy things because I'm bigger and stronger, then obviously I should be the one to do that. If she's a better swimmer than me, then clearly she should be the one to do swimming, especially if it's, to save someone's life. I'm not that good at swimming, so I can admit that. I'm not that good at swimming. I'm more likely to sink, but I'm more likely to jump in trying to save somebody, even if I'm not that good of a swimmer, which is something I should, obviously, in the near future, fix. Should go get some swimming lessons and improve on that. Probably get some lifeguard training. Anyway, point is that whoever is better at something should be the one to do that something. So if I'm a better driver, I should be driving, right? If I'm a better decision maker, I should be in charge. That's only logical. It's not because, I'm a man, I have a penis, blah blah blah, I'm in charge. No, if I'm best suited to lead, then I should be in lead, right? Now you can say, well, what if both people are equally capable of leading? Okay, it depends on, again, it will depend on what we're leading to determine who should lead. We both could lead at the same time, but again, it depends what it is, right? That we're trying to do. If we're trying to go somewhere, and if my significant other, right, if she, knows a better path, a better way to get to a certain location, then I'll trust her judgment, right? I'll take her lead because what she's offering is better. But that only makes sense if it is better. It doesn't make sense that I follow her lead, but her lead is worse, right? Her lead takes us a longer route than we should. It's like I'm looking for the shortest route, and whoever knows the shortest route, that's the route we should take. So to me, it's not about who's right, who's wrong. It's about who has the best information. So if my significant other, my wife, I'll say, right, if my wife has the better information, then I'll confide in her for that. Another thing you can do is obviously learn from them, right? If my wife is better at taxes, well, I should learn from her, so that way I could be good at taxes too. Especially if it's my taxes, right? It's my taxes, my responsibility. I should be able to do my own taxes. Of course, at first, since she's better at it than me, I'll have her do it, but then I'll watch and learn. Just like I learned how to, cook from my mother. She then she didn't insist that I learn. She didn't offer to teach me. I asked to learn. I asked her to teach me because of interest in the knowledge. So that's why it happened. Give me a second. And like I was saying, is the idea that, like, you gotta understand that a relationship is a lot like a friendship. It's a lot like having a job, right? There's an employer, there's an employee. Somebody should be in charge, not the whole somebody somebody should be in charge, as opposed to like, oh, we're partners, teamwork, this and that, because it doesn't work. It doesn't work that well. It works better when there's a leader and a follower, because that's how teams work. Teams don't work when everybody is trying to lead the team or trying to make decisions together, right? The thing is, you need a leader, somebody who's going to take about, I'll say, 90% of the responsibility, 90% of the responsibility, 90% of the blame if shit goes wrong, right? Somebody has to take responsibility. And then everyone else has input, and everybody else puts in effort to, for whatever activity y'all are trying to do to work out. So, for a guy's responsibilities tend to be, about obtaining resources, getting things to bring home. A female's responsibilities is to maintain the home, right? And not necessarily like, clean the house or anything like that. Those are things, but I mean like maintaining the home, as in maintaining the relationship, maintaining, because any place can be a home. That's why I'm saying home and not a house. I'm not saying you have to maintain a house. You have to maintain a home. Home is where you make it, right? And anywhere can be a home, when you're in a relationship. So your responsibility is to maintain the home, which is whatever lifestyle you and your husband have, right? Whether y'all living on an island or in a city or on a farm, you know what I mean? You're responsible for maintaining the home. And that's why it's important to try to keep other ladies away from your home, right? Because they want what you got, and you know this, which is why it's important for you to make sure that you are the best he got. Now, there are guys out there that, regardless if they have the best chick in the world, they're still going to be selfish, because selfishness is a factor, and they're still going to take on temptations. They're going to take advantage of opportunities, because think about it, it's a lot like trying to be on a diet and stuff like that. There's going to be moments where you're going to cheat, right? There's going to be moments somebody offers you a piece of cake and you're going to take it. Even though you're on a diet, you're going to take the piece of cake because you're not trying to be rude. You're not trying to be inconsiderate, right? You're trying to be nice, friendly, whatever you want to call it. So you'd be like, okay, it's just a piece of cake. It's not that big of a deal, I'm gonna go home and exercise or go to the gym, so it's not that big of a deal if I, eat a piece of cake. It's the same thing when it comes to a piece of booty, right? And it's like, okay, it's just a piece of booty. It's not like I'm, going to replace my wife with this chick or this and that third. Like, that's most guys' mentality. The guys who, end up cheating, right? Or end up exercising their options, whatever you want to call it. But, I'm against the idea, of course. I'm like, I understand it. I understand the logic behind it, but doesn't make it right? Obviously, there's better ways to handle situations. Like I've said before, is I use myself as an example. If I was in this situation, I'm like, you know what, I would like to be intimate with another female, and it's just, for fantasy purposes of just for a one-time thing, then I'd rather discuss that with my significant other than to do it behind her back. That's disrespectful, and that's a betrayal. Because I would definitely wouldn't want her to do that to me, so I wouldn't do that to her. I would rather either I break up with her and do the do, or her break up with me and do the do. however way that works itself out. All right, definitely you want to make the relationship be on some good footings, because remember, like I said, you're responsible for the home. You're responsible for the marriage, right? Because you're building something with somebody, you definitely want it to be worth something, and you gotta be valuable to him as much as he's valuable to you, because females already, have preset idea of what they want out of a relationship anyway. The guy. See, females know what a guy should bring to the table, but whenever a guy asks what she brings, suddenly she tries to act like her is the only thing she has to bring. It's like, you should bring more of that, because if you're not willing to bring more than that, trust me, some other female will be willing to bring more. And that's the thing. You're always, regardless, even when you get a man, you're always in competition with every other female out there. That's just the ugly truth of the world, right? Even guys have to, keep that in mind. It's like, because as guys, we always know the idea that there will always be a guy, always be a better person than us, right? There'll always be a guy out there better than us. The thing is, we need to make sure that the woman we're with sees us as valuable, sees us as, better, even if we're not. That's the thing. Even if we're not better than most other guys out there, as long as in her mind we are better than most guys out there, that's all that matters. But as soon as she starts thinking that you're not better, that there is better than you out there, then that creates a problem. See, guys already have to deal with that idea that, it's like, I'm a millionaire, but there's guys out there that are billionaires, and she, so if she has the opportunity and the options and whatnot, she'll want to exercise that. So you might want to pay attention to what he likes. For example, sometimes what you wear matters, right? How you look, if your body's changing, and there's a lot of factors. You gotta be an expert, right? You gotta be an expert at being a woman, right? Expert at being the woman he chooses to be with, and you have to be the best, right? As much as you want him to be, the best at what he does, whatever he's doing, you want him to be the best you can get, right? Financially, physically, whatever, you need to be able to do the same, right? There's this false idea that is, just by agreeing to be in a relationship, that you're gonna be in a relationship forever. It's like, no, it's literally the perfect comparison to a relationship is a job. If you don't do your job, you're obviously gonna get fired. Why keep you when you're not doing your job? When you're not performing as expected. So, that's the thing. When you're in a relationship, you expect things of your man. He expects things of you. So you got to be able to live up to it. Guys are. It's true that, yes, guys can date down. Guys can, will take less. Will settle, all that stuff. That is true. But not every guy does that. And sometimes after a while, even if a guy settles, sometimes he's like, could have got better, right? I could have put effort to get better. And that small, detail, can change the dynamic in the relationship. If he starts feeling like, there's females out there that are more open-minded, more willing to do things, more active, more whatever, right? You always got to remember the more aspect. Just like how you always want more, guys tend to want more. Guys do accept less, but accepting less is, has its limits, right? At some point, he's going to want more. At some point, he's going to be like, I'm already getting less. I mean, he's going to notice if he gets less than what he's used to. He's going to want more, because why not get more, right? But he's going to definitely notice when he gets less. So you definitely don't want to make a habit of giving less, because then that's just going to make him want more, and then he's going to look for it. And you don't want him looking for more. Just like he doesn't want you looking for more, right? So, he has to deal with the same situation as you do. The possibility that you might step out. And because females are more hypergamous than guys are, you ladies are more likely to step out than guys are. Guys, there's a difference between guys cheating and females cheating. Guys cheat because they can. Females cheat because they want to. That's the difference. And that has always been the difference. And that sucks, right? I don't agree with guys, taking advantage, taking females' offers, taking females up on their offers for sex when they're already in a relationship. I don't agree with that, obviously. But when you think about it, it's far worse when a female chooses. Because like I said, females choose to cheat because they always have the option to cheat. Guys don't always have the option to cheat. So that's why when the option presents itself, guys get tempted. Clearly, they shouldn't be tempted, right? They should have some self-control. But, think about it logically. If you didn't always have the option to do something, right? Choice. You didn't always have a choice, and suddenly a choice presents itself. Wouldn't you want to take the choice? Wouldn't you want it? Because what it is it's an opportunity. That's the difference. When a guy is cheating, right, it's because an opportunity presented itself. And you know what we say about opportunities. Opportunities tend to be rare, right? So when an opportunity knocks, answer the door, right? So no surprise that a guy would take the opportunity. Not saying that he should. I'm just saying that shouldn't be surprised that he would take an opportunity when it presents itself, because it's presenting itself. It's not like it was always there. It just suddenly appeared. So no surprise that he might, or he does take advantage of the opportunity. But females always have the opportunity. I mean, there's a limit, obviously. Once they get to a certain age, their opportunities drastically reduce, but there's still an opportunity. It's less, right? Less, or I should say less options, not opportunity, but less options for her after a certain period of time. But the thing is, she still can choose. So it's much easier for a female to go from one guy to the next as opposed to a guy going from one woman to the next, which is why it is unfortunate, and it's definitely the guy's loss if he takes the opportunity, right? And I don't agree with him taking it without your permission. The fact that it is an opportunity, right, that doesn't come often, as opposed to for you, the opportunity is always there when you choose to choose it. When you choose you want an opportunity, you can open up an opportunity. You can get an opportunity when you feel like it, as opposed to a guy. So that's why you want to make sure that when he does have the opportunity, he doesn't want it, because it's like he doesn't see it as a benefit, right? He doesn't see it like, oh yeah, this is worth my time. This is worth, taking the risk, as it were, right? Sometimes, like females say that expression, was she worth it, right? Was it worth it? A lot of times it's not. And the thing is when it comes to, when guys cheat, right? The whole sex thing is like, for guys, it's like, yeah, it was just sex. It wasn't love. We don't love through sex. We don't love things through sex, right? When we love things, it's a mental thing. It's an emotional thing. When we love something, it's because we care about it. So we love through caring. We love through, willing to die for something. So when we love a woman, we love her not with our penis, but with our actual heart, right? With our mind, body, and soul, as they say. But for women is different. For women, their emotions, their biology, right? Chemicals and stuff like that, and the vagina, right, is how they typically love. So when they're willing to have sex with a guy, that's because of love, right? So women love with their bodies, men do not. So that's why if a guy does cheat, let's go with the whole he does cheat. If he is a great guy, despite the cheating, right? Despite the cheating being an issue, you can overlook it. Not saying you have to. I'm just saying you could overlook it, right? Because you have to think about it logically. It's like, well, is he going to replace me? Is he going to leave me for her? Here's the thing you got to understand. If you make it a big deal, right, that he cheats, and you break up with him, you're just guaranteeing that he's going to end up with the other female anyway. If all he's going to do is just hit it and quit it, which most females complain that's what guys tend to do, right? A lot of their past relationships was the guy just hit it and quit it. So, if that's something you're already used to, it shouldn't be so surprising that if you get with a guy that y'all been with for a long time, he has sex, right? Not saying that it's okay, I'm just saying that he does. Let's say he does it. And then it's like, well, do you think he hit it and he's gonna stay with her, or he just hit it and he quit it? And if you feel like, oh yeah, he in his past all he ever did was hit it and quit it, so, and when he hit me, he didn't quit it, he held on, he stayed in a relationship with me. So this situation is not the end of the relationship. Unless you allow it, unless you decide, right? Unless you choose for it to end, that's the only time it will end. Just like when a female chooses to cheat, is because she's planning to end the relationship. And I understand why a female would cheat during a relationship, because in my mindset, I'm thinking logically, like, if you're going to be with another guy, just break up with the guy you're with. If the guy you're with doesn't, give you enough attention, doesn't love you, blah, 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 all these reasons that you feel that you need to leave the relationship, you need to quote-unquote cheat, right? Then just break up and then go be with another guy. The thing is that I understand the psychology. I understand why y'all don't. That's why I understand why y'all because the idea is that he's the backup plan. So when y'all decide y'all mad or don't want to be with your boyfriend or husband anymore, you want to make sure you have the backup plan. You have the other guy already lined up. It's like when you want to make sure, it's like when you have a job and you want to quit, but you don't quit and then go try to get a job. You first go look for a job, another job, right? Do the application, do the interviews, this, that, right? Set it all up and make sure you get the job, right? And once the job is secured, once you're guaranteed that you have that job, then you'll quit. So I get it. I get it logically. If I look at that way, right? Logically, I get it. If I look at it like, you trying to quit a job, yeah, you want to make sure you have another job lined up already. So I get it that you're trying to get another guy lined up, and to make sure you can guarantee that guy will be a relationship, not just some guy who's just trying to hit it and quit it per se. That's why you let him hit and then see if he'll quit. And if he doesn't quit and he stays after you let him hit, then you're like, okay, now I can leave the guy I'm with to go with the other guy. I get it, ladies, but it is fucked up. Because remember, this is about emotions and love, blah, blah, blah. This is not about a job per se, but I get it if I look at it logically like that, like, oh, in the aspect of trying to quit a job, it makes sense to have another job lined up. I get it. But it's like, but that's just how it is, right? And that's why when a female cheats, it's far worse, because that 99.999% chance that the relationship is going to end from that. It's not like she's going to cheat and then be like, you know what, I still want to be in this relationship, and I love my man, blah blah blah, I'm loyal to him, blah blah blah. I was just horny. Like when females cheat, it's because the relationship is over. So that's why it's far worse than when a guy cheats, right? Because when a guy cheats, it literally is just sex. It's not, that he's looking for a replacement. But if you break up with him, that will guarantee that you're going to be replaced. He's going to have to find someone else. Probably the chick that he fucked will end up replacing you, or he'll find another chick. The point is that if you end the relationship, you're the one who ended it, not really him. Now, if he ended the relationship, that's one thing. But if you end it, well, then you're the one ending it. And that's why I'm like, if he cheats, it's your fault that the relationship ends, because more likely you're going to end the relationship if he cheats. You allowed it to happen because of the fact that you probably didn't perform that well in the relationship for him to choose you over them. Of course, we love the idea of wanting to put responsibility, accountability on everybody else. And it's like, yes, he has some responsibility and accountability, but so do you. That's the thing. You have accountability, he has accountability. It takes two to tango. I always hate the fact that people try to make it where like, nah, it's just one-sided. It's like, no, it takes two to tango. Just like we say that, yes, your body, your choice, which means your responsibility and your fault of whatever happens. If you get pregnant, that's your fault. Yes, the guy's responsible as well. He was there. He's the one who, bust a nut. Yes, but you're the one who let him, and, it's just back and forth. And it's like both of y'all are equally responsible. Who is more responsible? That's obviously where the debate comes in. But, the point is that, since it's your body, your choice, again, it's your responsibility. So you have to take majority of the responsibility. Percentage-wise, let's say you're 60% responsible for getting pregnant, and the guy who got you pregnant is 40% responsible. So you're a little bit more responsible than he is. Right? Because it is your body, you should have, took precautions to reduce the possibility of you getting pregnant. Because it's your body. So which is your responsibility, not his. It's not his responsibility for what you do with your body. That's your responsibility. What he does is another thing. Now here's the thing. Now if you want to give him responsibility of your body, then that means he also has authority, which means your body, his choice. If you're trying to not take accountability or responsibility for what decisions you make with your body, then you got to give him the authority that comes with responsibility. If you're going to bring him into the picture, right? If you're going to be like, oh well, I didn't make this baby by myself, okay, then he gets to choose as well, right? He gets to be involved if an abortion happens or not, and so forth and so forth. And like I said, the whole point is like the idea of like if cheating happens and whatnot. It takes two to tango, right? technically takes three in this situation, because remember, we're talking about cheating. So there's the third party, which is the other woman, right? She definitely went against the sister code, right? The female code, because guys got the guy code. Females should have a code of their own, and not fucking your man should be number one code, right? In the female code. So you gotta remember that female is as much to blame for your man cheating than he is, and him and her cheating, you're as much responsible as they are for them cheating, right? For that situation happening, because you didn't make sure that in his mind it's not worth it, right? You gotta make it where him cheating is not worth it. That it's not even desirable. It's not something that he wants, right? And I'm just, just trying to give some insight, because me personally, I don't plan to cheat, because I'm against it. Plus, I have standards, so, and morals. So I'm not, interested in cheating. If I want multiple females, I just have a harem, just have a whole bunch of chicks and live happily ever after. Why waste time getting in a relationship with one woman and then just secretly or even in front of her be with other females? If she's cool with it, she's cool with it, right? I mean, I am that guy that, from my personal life experiences, that females wouldn't have a problem with me having other females. Or sharing me with other females, because I have been shared many times before. So I've had multiple harems before, and currently am building one right now. So there's that. But I do believe in being a one-woman man, especially if I pick the right woman. Right, she will have she'll have so much quality. Right, she checks all of the boxes, as they say, that I wouldn't need any other female. She'll be able to do. Not only be able to do, but she'll be willing to do everything that I would want to need anyway. So I wouldn't need more than one, as it were. But in my current situation, more than one is where I'm at. But we'll see. One day I might find the one woman to rule them all, right, as they say. And that's the thing. Sometimes some guys are not ready for one woman anyway. That's another thing to take into account. Make sure that the guy you're with is a one-woman man, right? That he only needs and wants one woman. If he's the type of guy that's, constantly chasing females, well, don't be surprised he cheats. He likes to catch them all, right? He likes multiple. He likes to chase. He likes constantly hunting, right? Think of it that way. There's most guys hunt for sport, right? And then there's some guys that hunt out of necessity. There's guys out there that are just hungry and they want a meal, right? So they'll want to get the biggest meal they can get, right? The biggest bounty. So they'll hunt for something big because they'll last longer. That's a relationship. That's a wife, right? As opposed to getting a whole bunch of berries here and there and collecting nuts here and there, right? Fishing here and there, like killing, rabbits and making stew. Like, instead of, variety here and there, just get it one big, giant, big buffalo and just eat buffalo burgers for months and months at a time, right? As an example. So that kind of mindset. So it's like, you gotta make sure that the guy that's why it's so important to understand who you're in a relationship with. Are you in a relationship with a playboy, right? A guy who, just wants chicks all the time. He wants to be, Hugh Hefner, right? He wants to be a ladies' man. Or are you in a relationship with a guy that, only wants one chick? Or are you with a guy that really doesn't even want to be in a relationship, but it's convenient? There are some guys like that. Guys who you know, are more want to keep to themselves anyway. They're more introverts. They're more antisocial. So they're not really out here chasing chicks. They're not really out here making themselves available for chicks to even present, offer him anything. He tends to keep to himself, right? So, you got to find out. If you want that type of guy, if you want a guy that's not likely to cheat on you, you want to find a guy that barely even lets females know he exists, because he's barely out there for them to even notice him, right? So you might want a guy who's more introvert, more of a indoor person than an outdoor person. Because think about it, unless females are literally coming over the crib, right, for him to cheat on you with, and I doubt you'll let the females just walk on in and cheat, right, and have sex with your man. If you have a man that's constantly outgoing, it's very important to understand that you might not really I'm losing thought. Females, guys, sorry, I really lost thought. Too many distractions. I had something important to say. I was making analogies of I guess I might have to end it there. Yep, that's the end of the podcast.